Now here's one where a guy is defiantly preserving the Confederate flag.
Okay.
A restaurant owner opposed in a bid to lower the Confederate flag. Again, this is in South Carolina. They love that flag down there.
I guess.
Tommy Darris had planned on a small ceremony Wednesday to remove the Confederate flag flying from the edge of the parking lot of his South Carolina restaurant. Then he encountered a hitch.
Okay.
2 members of the Sons of Confederate Veterans showed up at the flagpole and advised Darris the group owns the small tract of land where the flag flies. Deeded to them in 2005 by the former restaurant operator who kept literature supporting slavery in his barbecue joints.
Okay.
Warned they could have him arrested for trespassing, Darris is now rethinking his options in his bid to replace the Confederate flag with an American flag outside of his restaurant. I wanted to compromise. I tried to work with them, Darris said, for months of negotiations, but I realized today that they are racist and they are bringing down my business with them.
Well,
Darris said he talked to the group about putting up a different Confederate flag than the current stars and bars, which has been embraced by racial hate groups.
Yeah.
He said the flag flying so close to the Edisto River Creamery and Kitchen is bad for his business. The Sons of the Confederate Veterans said they fly the flag and maintain a monument to a 1865 Civil War skirmish on that tiny piece of land to honor their ancestors who fought for the South. They bristle at any suggestion of being racist, noting they can't control what others chose to do with the Confederate flag for or elsewhere.
So they're all part owners of this business?
No. What it is that these Sons of the Confederate Veterans own this little piece of land that this flagpole sits on.
Okay.
But it's adjacent to this restaurant.
And the restaurant supports its heritage, we'll call it.
Well, no, the restaurant was owned by a guy who supported the heritage, but this new owner does not. So he was thinking that this flagpole was part of his land.
Right, okay.
But it's not.
But he's losing business because they're flying the
Confederate flag. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So he thought he could just go over there and take it down and put a different flag up. And they said, nope, you're stepping on our property, dude. We own this little piece of land right here.
Jesus Christ. This guy probably saved up his whole life to buy this fucking place.
Right.
All he wants to do is make a buck.
Yep. If Darris brings the flag down, the group plans to bring him to court.
Wow.
He stood by the flagpole for nearly an hour Wednesday until Darris gave up. In the event of illegal action, he warned, we'll take the whole damn place.
Wow.
About a dozen police officers stood by there, but there was no violence.
Why wouldn't you just put up a sign on your property that says that flag is not my,
property?
Mine. It doesn't represent my business.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
Darris bought the restaurant building and opened his eatery in May of 2015 at a major intersection about 50 miles south of Columbia, the state capital. He knew the flag was there and thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
Then a month later, authorities said 9 African Americans at a Charleston church were gunned down by a white male who put pictures of himself with the Confederate battle flag in writing where he said he thought blacks were inferior to whites on his website. South Carolina lawmakers pulled down the Confederate flag in front of the State House within a week, but Darris said the Sons of the Confederate Veterans put up even a larger flag up the pole.
Wow.
It's like, Fuck you. Here's our big fuck you to you.
I get it that you don't want to just give in, but maybe it's just me, and I just don't even. I see a lot of people that get all in an uproar about people burning the American flag.
Uh-huh.
And, I've served.
Sure.
So, I fought for it more or less. And I just can't care. Sorry. I just look at people and think, okay, well, you're a fucking disrespectful asshole. Now I know. And that's as far as I care.
Sure.
Somebody wants to... I just can't imagine being that fucking driven to waste time out of my day to go and fight for a fucking flag.
Well, it's less about the actual flag and it's more about the principle.
The principle of what?
The principle of bowing to social pressures.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, but you don't have to bow to it.
You do if you're forced to remove your Confederate flag because other people says it's racist and you don't believe that way.
I don't know. I guess I just look at it as a big monumental waste of fucking time.
Well,
and energy.
It is. But the thing is, there are some people who stand by that principle.
Yeah,
and they just like, you know what? I don't care what you think, and I can't help what other people have done with this flag, but this flag means something to me, and just because everybody else thinks this doesn't mean I'm going to bow to your way of thinking.
And there ain't a damn one of them that's successful in life.
You're right.
Every one of them that takes this kind of an issue on is a fucking washout.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't get it. I'm never going to get it. I would not waste my time on this shit.
Sure. That's when it all started. I have black groups boycotting me. I have white groups angry. I think about bringing that flag down, Darris says. Darris then studied the deed. It does not mention the sliver of land at all. He bought title insurance and paid for an inspection, so he thinks legally the land is his. The Sons of the Confederate Veterans disagree. They also have a deed showing the restaurant's previous owner, barbecue baron Maurice Bassinger, gave .003 acres, or about 130 square feet of land, to the group in 2005, according to the Orangeburg County's outline records. That's about the size of an average master bathroom in a U.S. home, according to the National Association of the Home Builders, or REV's previous apartment.
Wow.
The organization also paid taxes on the land, according to the online records. Bassinger once had nearly a dozen restaurants serving barbecue meat with a mustard-based yellow sauce. He began flying the Confederate flag outside the restaurants in 2000, after the South Carolina legislature removed the rebel banner that was on top of the State House dome and put one on a pole in front of the Capitol. Bassinger died in 2014, and his family quickly removed the Confederate flags and the pro-slavery and white supremacy literature from his restaurants, but the Confederate flag still flies in Orangeburg because of the land deal. Until you prove this flag belongs to you, we don't want you to mess with it, Sons of the Confederate Veterans member Buzz Braxton told Darris outside the restaurant Wednesday.
Yeah, pal.
This is our flag. This is our piece of land. Keep your mitts off of it.
Okay, then.
Or we'll fuck you 6 ways to Sunday there, fucky.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be sorry.
Yep.
So don't even think about it.
Unbelievable.
How about that?
I'm so sick of people.
as soon as this flag thing became an issue almost 2 years ago,
yep,
I knew this was going to be a prevailing issue.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not going away. I don't understand why people are so driven to keep fighting the fight over some dumb flag. But
again, it's the whole. And again, I said this on the show a while back. This has now truly become the rebel flag again.
Yeah, well, it definitely is the rebel flag at this point. That's for sure.
That's exactly what it was always called. When I was growing up, people had those flags and probably still do.
Yeah.
And they called it the rebel flag.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's become a symbol, or, has become a symbol of hate.
Hot button.
Yeah, hot button. Now it
Right.
has truly become a rebel flag.
Sure.
But again, this goes back to something we talked about. We talked about Leonard Skinner back in 1994,
Mm-hmm.
when the whole there was a big reinterest in the whole Malcolm X thing, and everybody was wearing those X's, on their clothes and on their hats and all that. And Leonard Skinner came out and said, "You wear your X and I'll wear mine."
Right.
And everybody was wearing that rebel flag.
Yep.
You wear your X and I'll wear mine.
I wonder if Skinner still has the rebel flag.
I think they took it down. I think after the whole backlash, everybody was just like, "Oh, that's racist" and whatever. I think they just sort of like put that to rest, kind of the way Pantera did.
You think?
I think they did.
Because Lord knows there were no black faces the last time I saw Leonard Skinner. They don't draw a black audience.
Well, that is true, but I don't think they want to be singled out as being a racist band.
Who would discover it?
I'm sure some liberal media outlet like CNN would say, "Leonard Skinner still on tour with one original member, still proudly flying that racist flag."
Yeah, Gary Rossington, somewhat linked to the Ku Klux Klan with his racist fucking flag. Ugh, hate people. All right, let's play music. Or are we done with this guy?
Yes, we're done with this.
All right, let's play music.
All right.
Play music, and then maybe we can talk about some music or something.
Yeah, sure. We can do anything.
All right.
It is our show.
Yeah, there we go. You got the new Metallica?
Did you send it to me?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, weeks ago. Well, you don't have it handy. How about if we go with some I'm going to go racist here. I'm going to go anti-racism.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go for some Black Label Society. And I'm going to want to hear no, I don't want to hear them either. I don't know what I want to hear. What do you want to hear? You pick.
Let me think here. Let me see what we got in the new pile. You did send me some new stuff.
Okay.
So let's look at the new stuff.
All right.
Let me see. What do I got here?
What you got?
Where is it? New music.
Where be the new shit and shit?
Yeah, really. Let's see here.
Hey, you got to listen to some of this shit, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Let's play something from Hardline.
All right. Go ahead.
Let's just play the first track off this. Hardline's got a new CD called Human Nature. This, of course, features Johnny Gioli on lead vocal.
Yep.
So if you like Hot Cherie, hopefully you'll like this.
Yeah.
So I think this is an appropriate song based on our conversation.
Okay.
Here's some brand new Hardline. This is called Where Will We Go From Here?
Perfect.
Exclusively here
On your classic metal show.